Hey friends, you're watching Simply Well. This is my son Orion. He's going to be helping us out today. He's going to be doing the juicing and showing us how to make this amazing, delicious carrot potato juice. And so just a minute, can you hold on, Orion, for a second while I talk to them about a few things and then we'll get started. Okay?
Yeah.
All right. So basically, I just wanted to show you how incredibly simple the protocol is. I mean, basically right here, I've got a potato cut into quarters, and I've got about 6 carrots, and I don't cut the tops off, I just put them directly in there. And then I've got my radish, which I used to juice the radishes. Usually I eat 3 or 4 radishes, but I'm just showing you that this is the red radishes that I personally use. I just eat these on my own because I don't think it adds a lot to the juice. And these days I'm pretty much juicing about every 2 to 3 days. I don't need it every day anymore because I don't get migraines anymore, but if I stop juicing entirely and I just stick with the resistant starch, I start to get mild headache symptoms. They don't turn into migraines, but they're still, not very pleasant. So I definitely like to do this every few days and then also stick with resistant starch every day. So, juicing is pretty straightforward. This is a Champion juicer here, which has an amazing motor. Can you stand back just a little bit so they can see the juicer, Ryan? Champion juicer, and there may be better juicers out there. I don't know. This one was like $250 about 6 years ago, so I'm really happy with it. It's worked really well. So let's get juicing, huh, Ryan?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's time this. So it's 4:38, and if I just want to point out, this does not take long. It is simple. This is not a lot to add into your day. So let's turn it on. Got it? Good job. Nice work, bud. Do another one. Got it? Good work. Why don't we do a potato because it's a little lighter? It's easier to push in. Okay, I'll put it in and you can push it in. There we go. That one should go in easier, huh? Good job. Got it? Nice work. The smaller ones are easier, huh? Alright, last one. Okay. Thank you very much, Orion. So, let's see. That took about 4 minutes. It'll probably take another 2 minutes at the most to clean the juicer. So is it worth it to put an additional 6 minutes in your day to juice in order to be free of migraines? I know what my answer was. So I just want to point out it really isn't that much work, okay? So we're going to turn this video off and let the starch settle at the bottom so you can see the starch one. So I just want to point out here, it just took a minute for that starch to settle at the bottom. So that's the resistant starch. And I will give you a close-up here as I pour it out. Pour it into here. And I just found out recently that the resistant starch is actually not a carbohydrate. It's a fiber. It's a form of fiber. So if you see in here, see that? It's a really odd consistency and texture. That's the starch. See it? It's kind of like, it's not slimy, but it just has like this weird, it's a very unique quality to it. That's the starch. So you definitely want to make sure that you get that in your glass. Let me just, you mind if I put this in here real quick, Orion? Here. And then we can enjoy our juice. And Orion doesn't get migraines, but I've been trying to slip in the resistant starch into his diet as well, just because it's so incredibly good for your colon. And I recently found out that it's especially good for, well, it's especially useful if you can mix the starch in with a fiber, because then the fiber helps bring the resistant starch all the way down to the distal portion of the colon, and that's where the majority of colon cancer happens, because usually by the time nutrients get to the colon, most of them are going to be broken down by the bacteria in the first part of the colon, and so the last part of the colon, the healthy bacteria aren't being fed, and that's why the cancer develops there. So usually what I do is I just intermittently while drinking this, will stir up the starch. And then I've got my radish, which I usually eat 2 to 3 of a day. I have thyroid issues. I find that the radish is especially good for the thyroid component, and that a lot of people with migraines have thyroid issues. The radish, even though it's goitrogenic, supposedly, the brassicas are goitrogenic, I've researched this. I'm not convinced that brassicas in any way do harm to the thyroid. It has iodine in it, which is great, and it does other things that you'll know about in the ebook for cleaning out the liver and gallbladder. Some people don't like the flavor of the radishes, but I personally think that the properties and benefits of them far outweigh the flavor. I don't mind the flavor. So, other things that I would add to the juice, I don't have any right now, but turmeric, amazing, anti-inflammatory. Ginger is also very good, especially for so many things, for your digestion, even if you don't, once you're out of the migraine stage, but if you still are, at the early stages of the protocol and still have migraines, the ginger can help with the pain because it mediates prostaglandins. So, what else? Am I missing anything, Ryan? Anyway, pretty basic, but again, 5 or 6 minutes out of your day, and cheers to your health. You want to say cheers, Ryan? Ching, ching. Thanks for helping. Yeah. Take care, you guys. We'll see you in the forum. Bye. One more thing, folks, that I wanted to add is that, carrots and potatoes are carbs. They're carbohydrates. And I've been recently looking over this Stanton protocol. If you're not familiar with it, the Stanton protocol is based on the assumption that people with migraines have a higher need for electrolytes. And they have more electrical activity in their brain, and therefore they need more potassium and sodium than most other people. So the idea behind the Stanton protocol being that you need to have the proper ratio of potassium to sodium, and while there's sodium in carrots, it's not a 2-to-1 ratio. So there's tons of potassium in carrots. I forget the exact amount. I will look it up and share with you, but basically, according to Angela Stanton, drinking and consuming this much potassium would be benefited in terms of electrolyte balance so that the cells can actually get the hydration. It would be benefited by adding a little salt. So I'm going to do about 1/8 of a teaspoon. Obviously this isn't an exact measurement in terms of a 2-to-1 ratio of potassium to salt. And I just found out about this protocol the other day. But given that the Simply Well Migraine protocol is based on trying to help the electrolyte balance, I think that this new piece of information is really fascinating. And so what I'm going to be doing now, instead of adding salt into my juice, is just put a little in my hand, eat it first, and then drink my juice. And I also want to add that part of the Stanton protocol is based off of the understanding that a lot of people with migraines are insulin sensitive.
Mom, I want a banana. Mom, I want a pineapple.
Pineapple? Okay, we'll cut that pineapple. We have the pineapple. I'll get you some in just a minute. So I'm almost done here, sweetie. Okay, just a minute. So if people with migraines are insulin sensitive, then we already know that the resistant starch is going to help people with insulin sensitivity become less insulin sensitive. So my aspect of my protocol would be really complementary to the Stanton protocol because it makes you less sensitive to carbs. And carrots are carbs, and so are potatoes. I personally don't believe in demonizing carbs because it's a really broad category of foods, and I feel that there's obviously a difference between refined white flour or sugar and carrots, and also the potatoes have B vitamins in them, which are really, really good for people with migraines. So I personally feel that if the carbohydrate insulin sensitivity part of the picture with people with migraines were as big as she's saying it is, there would be no way that I would have healed myself of my migraines by relying on a drink that is mostly from carbs. So I'm not saying that she's incorrect in her observation. I'm just saying that I think the resistant starch, because it lowers insulin sensitivity, mitigates any negative effects of drinking carrots and potatoes. If you don't like potatoes or you're sensitive to nightshades, these green plantains are great in smoothies. And then let me show you my potato starch as well. So the one potato is going to offer a tablespoon of potato starch, and I gradually built up to 3 or 4 tablespoons using this potato starch here. This is Anthony's. I just mixed this in with water, and that's how I stay migraine free. That's how I got my life back. And I would love it for any of you who want to try it. Please report back to me so that we can get more evidence for how well this works for people and continue to improve the protocol so it will help more people. Thank you. Bye.